All right, ladies and gentlemen, our first guest has appeared on Last Comic Standing and Bring the Funny. She also hosts 2 weekly web shows, Mad Mondays and Friday Live at 5. She is an awesome comedian, and we are very happy to have her on the show with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, here she is, KRISTIN Key. KRISTIN, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on. What a great intro. Thanks.
Yeah. No, you're awesome, and I'm digging what you're doing, and you're in L.A. right now. And
Yep.
what's it like in LA? You guys are still kind of locked down. Like, what phase are you guys in right now?
Oh, who knows? We're in a phase of impending doom. I leave the house like once every 3 weeks. That's why I like the intro. I was like, oh, it makes me sound like I'm doing stuff. Because no, we're most of us, everybody that I know, we're still at the safer at home phase, and so we go to the grocery store, and that's about it.
Yeah, yeah. The grocery store is like a night out on the town these days.
Oh man, it's like I feel so bad because like grocery shopping takes forever because like there's that one person at the register that has to talk to the cashier all day because they're so lonely. That is me. And I'm not like that usually. Usually I'm like get in, get out. I don't talk to anybody. And since this pandemic's been going on so long, I know all their names. I'm like, hey Denise, how's it going? How's your cat? And like the people behind me are like, just go. I'm like, hang on. This is the only friend I have today.
No, that's true. It's true. I think even going out is such a chore now. So if I do have to go food shopping, it's like, oh man, I got to get the mask ready. I got to get, sanitizer. It's you go out there, then it's kind of avoiding people. So it is good when
Yeah.
you can connect with the cashier or whoever these days. It's crazy.
Yeah, and it's weird. It's like used to I'd go to the store maybe 6 times a week, just like every time I thought of something. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go get an onion, and now I have to get it all, and I have to get it all in one trip. And then it's like Trader Joe's out here has a arrows to follow, and if you
Oh,
forget something
right.
in produce when you're in frozen, you gotta start all over, man. And so it's like I end up getting like twice as much stuff as I went in for because they double lap
You got
me.
to keep going around in circles. That's great. But I think that the quarantine did have some positives. I mean, like you have these 2 shows, the Mad Mondays.
Adjective ending in est.
Stingiest.
A noun.
Trust fund.
Body part.
Kneecap.
An exclamation.
Yowza.
And the Friday Live at 5.
Well, it's Friday live at 5. You know it's Friday live at 5.
Were those conceived out of this, or did you already
Yeah.
have those? Yeah.
No. I wasn't doing much online. Like I was always traveling and I was used that as an excuse. It's like, oh, I'll post something maybe from wherever my gigs are. But when I was home, I was just like non-existent online. And then I was on the Grand Princess cruise ship.
Meanwhile, the Grand Princess cruise ship is floating off the coast of California in San Francisco Bay. Nobody's allowed to leave the boat for now. The ship carried a passenger on an earlier cruise from San Francisco to Mexico who later died from coronavirus.
That got stuck off the coast of San Francisco.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, my quarantine started a month before everybody else's started. And I have something to offer. This right here, street value in America right now has to be worth what, like $8 grand? Yeah, I will give it to you. I will give it to anybody who brings a fully cooked lasagna to Travis Air Force Base. Just put my name on it. Say it's for KRISTIN. And so I was kind of getting a glimpse of what life was going to be like because I ended up on a military base for
Yeah,
14
they didn't let you
days.
guys out right away, right? You were on that ship. No. You were on that's crazy. I did not know that.
There's a line where the sky meets the sea and it calls me, and no one knows how far it goes.
So
Yeah, I've been
tell us
quarantining
about
since way before it was cool.
yeah, so I remember hearing stories about these poor people that were stranded on this cruise line for like, what was it, like weeks?
It was it was still terrible because there was no plan. And like we were the ship that was out there like we were just floating in circles outside of San Francisco when Trump came on it, and we were getting all our news from the mainstream media because no one's telling our captain anything, and he would come on every day and go like, as soon as I have more information, I promise I'll tell you. And we're like, damn it.
Wow.
And we're watching the news, and so Trump comes on, talks about our ship. We're like, all right, this is going to be good. And he was like, if it were up to me, I'd just leave him out there. And we're all like, oh my God, we're going to die.
I'd rather have them stay on, personally. But I fully understand if they want to take them off. I gave them the authority to make the decision.
We're going to die at sea. So
It must have been like a little bit claustrophobic. I know those ships are huge, but it had to be a claustrophobic feeling knowing that you're kind of stranded out there. They don't want you back on land.
and you can't leave your room.
Oh, you couldn't
That
leave
was
your
what
room?
it was. Yeah. Our lockdown started in phases. Like at first it was like, because we're all coming back from Hawaii. There were some rough seas. Once the rough seas were over, we're like, oh, okay, smooth sailing all the way back to Ensenada. And then they came on and we're like, all right, we're going to have to skip Ensenada and port early because there might have been some coronavirus on last week. And one of the other passengers died. No biggie.
Wow.
We're like, oh no, let's go get the buffet before they shut it down. And
Yeah, and this is like right in the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
nobody really knew where, like, that would still be doing this in August. So, like, and that you must have been like, this is overreacting. Why are we still trapped in this boat?
actually, I called my wife and said, start stocking up. Like it started
Oh,
because I knew about the Grand Princess, and I'm like, if the Grand Princess was outside of Japan, I think, and then here we are, and it's like, I mean, I'm not a pandemic expert, but I have watched Outbreak. And like, I remember that scene where they, is it Patrick Dempsey's on the plane? He's like, I don't feel very good.
It's no problem. Now, I don't want no trouble with the law.
Next thing you know, an entire movie theater's dead. So I was like,
Wow.
maybe, get some toilet paper and like some beans and rice, or I don't know. And she did a real good job, like getting out cookies and stuff we actually eat.
So this was like mid to late March. When
This is, I got out of the military base on March 21st, I think.
Wow.
'Cause I went in on the 10th. So maybe the 25th. Anyway, it was a 14-day total.
Wow. Well, now, so and you're quarantined to your room, and I guess there's no roommates in there or anything. What other comedians were on the bill with you? Who else was on the ship?
Nobody. Like that was one of the, like, if it would have been a different cruise line, there would have been like, we'll call the other comics, go hang out in the courtyard, whatever, yuck it up.
Right. Yeah.
But this one was on Princess. There's one comedian, one magician, one dance troupe, and this trip I usually make real good friends with the magician, but me and the magician just didn't click this week,
I'm not here for applause. I'm a little bit different than the other magicians you'll see tonight. In fact, I'm not planning on doing any magic at all.
And you don't think about that when you're just like a weekend, like, we're just not hitting it off, maybe next trip or whatever. But then when you're like, I'm going to be quarantined and I'm not going to go knock on his door.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you had nobody really to bond with, so you're just kind of doing this on your own in that room.
Yeah.
That must have been a crazy, scary time.
That's when like the shows started, like I wrote a song about being in quarantine.
While the outside world is going crazy, now's your chance to be lazy. Eat a bag of chips and stay in your PJs.
And then I started doing more social media. Like I did my first live post, I think, from quarantine. And that's when I decided, I was like, I'm going to try to do a weekly live thing, which turned into Friday Live at 5, which now has kind of a format to it. I start with the theme song, and then I always have the audience give me a challenge one week, and then I play the challenge the next week. And then now it's kind of evolved into where when people show up after the show started, I give them recaps of the show, which have nothing to do with the show has actually been.
Right.
Hey, Diana Gonzalez, you're not late. We're all just early, and you haven't missed much. We started the show by talking about whether or not the moon landing was a fake, and then we were all like, nah, we think they went to the moon. And then it got weird in here because people had some theories, but it turns out that I think we're all going to be friends anyway.
I think it's great what you do. I always love your comedy, your energy on stage. You have a very positive vibe, and you don't seem to get too political, other than crocheting.
Crochet. It sounds old lady-like, so I want to rebrand it something cooler. So I looked up the word origin, and crochet is a French word that means to hook. So I'm a hooker.
So
No, crochet is. I came out as a crocheter, and I think my haircut is political enough for people, and so it's like I think it's people expect me to be political, and so during my act and on my shows, I don't really delve into it because I think it's apparent where I stand.
yeah, you're a Trump supporter all the way, right?
I mean, MAGA! Yeah! Make it great again! I mean, my hair just like fell out in the back. I was like, what? What are you doing? If I want to keep my hair, I got to quit saying that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just feel like in a comedy club, I think a lot of times people go there to escape what that is online. And so, especially with my online shows, I know when I get up in the morning and I scroll through Facebook, I'm like, I got to put this down. Like, and anytime I do see somebody that's like lighthearted or just like a friendly or upbeat post, I'm like, oh, thank God. Like I needed that today because people are really mean. And I don't want to, showcase that.
It's tough out there, and people do get mean on all sides of the coin. And I think it's the temperature of the world between the pandemic, the riots, the election year, the murder hornets. I just think that everybody is uptight and it's crazy. And I think that, now more than ever, we need comedy. We need, to laugh and some levity on this.
I don't trust other couples that are like, oh, we never fight. I don't think me and Jim have ever been in a fight before. Those are the people you see on Dateline. Pushing each other off cruise ships.
Comedians like you are really doing a great job kind of bringing in that positivity and making us feel good, So I think, anybody tunes in to any of your stand-up or your Friday at 5 or your Monday Funnies, Monday Madness show, I think they'll get an idea and they'll get a good laugh out of their day for that. So,
Hey, ho, ho, find a cat with hair and let's take it home. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I'm gonna get a cat. You take a Claritin. So bring me kitty cat right meow. Meow.
You do a lot of music, and I love a lot of the songs that you do. I know you did one about Baby Yoda. You did one about the brawny paper towel guy.
A bounty of booty had come and gone, but his housework had been more important. And when he was willing to let his heart spill, none of them had been super absorbent.
But you also did the Long Time Coming song.
Yeah.
I think it's a great song, and it shows I think you did a terrific job with that.
Little woman, be quiet, sit pretty, be polite. Understated, uneducated, submissive, thanks, all right.
And I think it's also something that needs to be said, and the way you do it, it's not. I don't feel like it's force-fed political message, but it is a message, and I think for men to hear as well, especially in these times, to understand, men and women, but understand kind of how women feel. I think it does a really good job of giving your voice of what a lot of women must feel like sometimes, what they're hearing from us.
Little woman can't work in a big man's world. You work like a man, but still get paid like a girl. Let the big boys talk, they're better with their words. Oh, little women better seen, but never heard.
I'd never intended to write that, and I don't write serious songs very often. People, like, after shows, be like, oh, do you have any serious songs? I'm like, nope, I don't do it. And then I was on a cruise ship, the one I ended up getting stuck on, and there was a news story about Harvey Weinstein or something, and he was in poor health or something, and I sat down, I just started tinkering with the guitar, and I wrote that. It just kind of fell out of me, and then I didn't know what to do with it, and so I just sat on it for months. And then I think it's this quarantine is like a greenhouse, things can either really grow in here or things just get hot and wither, and so that was one of those that finally just on a day when I think there was a lot of politically charged Black Lives Matter stuff about using your voice, and that really resonated with me. I was like, you know what, this doesn't necessarily, it's not a Black Lives Matter song, but it's also not a Black Lives Matter song, because
Right.
it's about having this inner turmoil that needs to come out, and it needs to come out sometimes. And I think music is a great way sometimes to use that release valve. I sent it to my friend, my best friend in the whole wide world, Kelly. I was like, hey, I wrote this song, I don't know what to do with it. And she was like, you should post it, because if you don't, you're dumb. Like she was kind of,
Right.
about it. And so I went ahead and just recorded it and put it up that day, and then let it be.
Woman's having trouble keeping quiet. Been a long time coming, little woman's gonna speak her mind.
The song itself was really well done, and the message, I think, is very strong. And as a father of 4 daughters and 1 son, I think it's a good message for all of them to kind of to understand. So I commend you for that as well.
Thanks.
And we're in a time, this past year especially, obviously it's been nuts, but I think for male comedians, it's been nuts. We got, Chris D'Elia, Louis C.K., Brian Callen, T.J. Miller, Jeff Ross. It goes on and on. What's going on with these male comedians?
They're getting found out. There's nothing new about it. And I mean, that's the kind of it's like yay, but it's also like, oh, okay, we all know somebody, and it's been happening since I started in 99. I love that, like, I do love the Me Too movement, because it got us all talking. And the female comics I've talked to, every single one of us have some story, some worse than others, but it's like they're all on the same level of, man, that's not okay. But when you're, a female comic working in a traditionally men's business, or that's what people continually tell you over and over again, that when stuff happens, when you're objectified, or you're like blatantly, sexually harassed in the workplace over and over again, you're just like, that's just how it is here. And then I like that this is just Amy Schumer in her special it was, I think, the best line of the special, when she was like, the Me Too movement's like all the younger generation just going, hey ladies, are you tired of being objectified? And all people at my age going, yeah. It's like, why didn't we think of this? We didn't know we could stand up for ourselves. But I love that she pointed that out, because it took a younger generation just going, hey, that's not okay. Are you guys, is it okay with you guys? We're like, no, but what can we do? And they're like, a lot. We're like, okay. So that's what's been happening. It's like somebody gave us permission to stand up for ourselves.
Do you think the woke kind of cancel culture is good for comedy? Is it gonna or is it or bad for comedy? Does it matter?
I have 2 thoughts on this one, because I feel like comedy should have some air to grow as a comedian, because I know, like, I understand, like if someone is racist, saying, hey, you're racist, that comedy is racist. I don't know that I like and so now we're never going to listen to you again. It's like, where's the room for personal growth in this? Because like, I used to be racist. I grew up racist. I think I was unaware of it until I kind of got out of a racist bubble, but I needed people to call me on it to find out. And I hope that now I'm not judged based on like things that I talked about 15 years ago, because I would never say those things now. And I understand now why they're wrong, but I did not at the time, because I was ignorant and I was racist. So it's like,
no, I agree totally. I totally think that you can't always hold people accountable for what they did 20, 30 years ago today if they've evolved.
There's got to be room for evolvement, I think.
Right. Yeah. Like even Kevin Hart, he said some bad things a long time ago, but he's evolved since then. He's become a better human being since then. And I don't think you should be accountable for those things now if you already were accountable for them in a way.
Right. Or I mean, if you understand why they were wrong, or like if you're actively, being a better person. Like, there's a lot of things that like, I mean, I was in the closet for a long time, so I was also homophobic, transphobic, and like all the things that now I'm like, oh man, those are terrible things, but I've got to look at the person that's being like homophobic, transphobic, and racist and go, there's more to it. You know, there's got to be more to it than you're just a piece of, you know, like,
Right.
you know, I think if we all looked at maybe causes and saw that, you know, racism, homophobia, transphobia are symptoms, and I don't know what the answer is, but I know that calling each other names all the time is making it worse.
You know, I agree with you 100%, and I do believe that people need to evolve and learn from, you know, and be called out, like you said. But also with your comedy, you were going like 14 years before you've addressed or got personal on stage.
Well, I love cats, I crochet, and I'm married to a woman. Who's ready to party?
Like, what were you afraid of for those 14 years of, or was it fear, or was it career driven?
Yeah, it was definite. I came out of the closet when I was 15 and it didn't go well, so I took it back. I was like, just kidding.
So like with your family, you took it back, you told them, I was wrong?
I took it back, but yeah, with everybody. I went right back in the closet because I lost all my friends.
Oh, wow.
Like my dad's a minister, and so like most of my friends were church friends and like church camp friends. So when I came out of the closet, they were all like, that's not cool. You can't do that. Like, you're going to hell and we can't hang out with you. And I was like, uh-oh.
Wow. This is when you're 15 years old. Yeah.
I was like 15 to 19, dealing with all that was just too much for me. And so I went back in the closet. I started drinking really heavily for the next like 17 years. And that was where my comedy began, was in that, you know, I think like need for a voice. Even though I couldn't say anything that I wanted to say, at least I got to say something, and at least I could get to vent some of this frustration on stage. My comedy started a little bit angrier, darker, a lot self-deprecating, and I remember other comics being like, "Oh, about 10 years in, you'll find your voice," you know. And I was like, "Oh, I can't wait till that happens." And it didn't happen 10 years in, you know. Just time just kept going by, but eventually, a comedy club owner and my manager at the time both encouraged me to talk about, you know, my story just for this fundraiser, just one time, and see how it goes. And it was like the most cathartic stand-up experience. I think it led to me getting sober later. And then I just started writing, and I hadn't written in years. You know? So it was really a profound experience for me.
That's awesome. That kind of opening up and comedy could free you. Ultimately, to get up on stage, face all of your fears, and face all the people, and I hope all those people that you grew up with are kind of biting their tongues right now, and they see how successful you've become as a stand-up, and you know, and are kind of saying, yeah, she's not going to hell.
Who knows? Who knows what, you know? I don't even know what to think anymore. I'm happy. That's good. You know, I think that's what matters. I've got some peace in my life, and that's important.
And your happiness is contagious for sure. Whenever I watch your stuff, I just find myself smiling. I think your comedy is great. Your song parodies are great. And I just think you're awesome. More people need to know about KRISTIN Key. So now that brings us to our next thing here. I know Ellen DeGeneres is going through some stuff. All of a sudden, what's going on with 2020? The nicest person in the world is now.
I feel for her on this one too. I feel for her on this one because it's like there are bigger fish to fry than Ellen.
I'm just so sorry that it's come to this.
Like, I mean, I've heard stories for years of people like, "Oh, she's a monster," but it's like, who isn't? Like, I mean, David Letterman had his assistants sitting on his laps, and like David, he slept with most of them. She didn't sexually harass anybody. She didn't say the N-word like Paula Deen. She's just mean. You can't, don't cancel her for being mean.
Yeah, she's getting canceled for being mean. It's a shame. It's the end of an era. You know, Ellen, to me, is a groundbreaking comedian for many levels, for many different things she's done. But it is a shame, and it is this whole year is just crazy. But in honor of her, I wanted to do this Zoom theater with you, which we're going to do a scene
Blue boat. I'm warming up here.
All right. A scene from Finding Nemo. Here we go with Zoom Theater, everybody.
I'm going to go when you say action.
All right, so here we go. Stand by. And action.
Wow, Dusty.
The mask. Where's the mask? No, the mask. Get it. Get the mask. Get the mask. Get it. Oh.
Woohoo! It just keeps going on, doesn't it? Echo! Echo! Hey, what you doing?
It's gone. I've lost the mask.
What'd you drop it?
You dropped it. That was my only chance of finding my son. Now it's gone.
Oh. Hey, Mr. Grumpy Gills. When life gets you down, you know what you gotta do?
I don't know what I gotta do.
Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. What do? We swim, swim!
And scene! Awesome! Kristin Key, you rocked
We're
it.
gonna get Oscars. We're gonna get so many Oscars.
That was great. That was probably the best one yet. Just don't tell the other comedians I said that. But it was definitely
because I don't want them to be like, he said the same thing to me. They probably got like The Godfather, and I got Nemo. But
that was
lucky
awesome,
me.
and you did a fantastic job. I think you did it just as good, if not better, than the original version.
Never. That's one of my all-time favorite movies, by the way. I love that movie.
Excellent.
I thought she was fantastic in it. Yeah.
And I thought it was a great scene for us to do because I'm kind of old and burly like Marlon.
You got some Marlon-like qualities. We could definitely do the reenacted Finding Nemo. I think in a small black box theater somewhere.
We should. Let's make that happen. Let's make that for sure once this COVID clears up. But Kristin, you are amazing. I really enjoyed this conversation with you, man.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah, been really cool. So tell everybody, I know you're going to be on nowherecomedy.com this Thursday night?
Thursday night. I believe it's at 7, but might want to check now. Go to nowherecomedy.com and get your tickets. It's the best of, because they do shows all the time. And so me and a few other comics are going to do, I think, 15, 20 minutes apiece. And also every Monday I put out a Mad Monday where I do a Mad Lib with a comedian. And every Friday, it's Friday Live at 5 Pacific Standard Time. And it is both are fun shows, so follow me on social media and yeah.
And KRISTINKEY.com and all that good stuff. Kristin, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us. And an amazing job with Zoom Theater and everything else.
Thank you. Acting.
Yes, indeed.
Let's take my bow.
Thank you so much.
What's that I see on the TV? Put Up, Shut Up, and Stand Up is on the TV. Make sure you tune in and subscribe. Don and Benny, they're awesome.